So today we're going to make the popcorn stitch, and I'm using an Aran weight yarn and a 5.5mm hook, and I have already chained 16. So you can chain as many or as few as you like. I stick to an even number because I want an odd number when I come to do my my actual stitches. So I am going to make my first stitch in the second chain from the hook, and I'm going to make a US single, which is a UK double, but I will be using US terms throughout now. So I'm making that single crochet in that first stitch, and then I'm going to make it all the way along. It should, for my purposes, give me a chain or a row of 15 single crochet stitches. So this is a foundation row for the popcorn stitch. Now the popcorn stitch isn't reversible, so quite a few of the stitches we've been doing recently have been reversible, but it isn't reversible. So this first row is going to be your right side, and it'll become very clear when we do our first row of popcorn stitches why. Now, depending on how you want and where you want your popcorn stitches, you may choose to do a couple of rows before you actually make your first row of popcorn stitches. Now, so I'm just going to check I have 15. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to place 2 single crochets. Now, it doesn't have to be 2. It could be 1, it could be 3 or 5. It will depend on where you want your bobble stitch to be. So you might have seen some bobble stitches where you have them and they are they're making a shape, say a heart or something. So not bobble stitch, popcorn stitch. I've been calling it bobble stitch. Popcorn stitch. So we're going to make the first popcorn stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, and in this next chain I am going to put 5 double crochets. So it's going to look a bit like a fan or a shell. 1, 2, 3. Use some more yarn. The shell's really dropping. 4 and 5. So now one of the variations of a popcorn stitch is you could do a 5 double crochet popcorn stitch, which is the typical one, which is the one I'm showing you. But if you don't want it to be as puffy, you can do 3, and if you want more push, you can do up to 7. So I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've taken my loop up, so I've just made my loop a little bit bigger and taken my hook out of that last one, and I'm going into the first one, and then I am going to go and collect that loop again, and I am pulling through and then chaining 1, and this is what then causes the popcorn. Now that's the way it wants to be, so that's why this is the wrong side. So I am now going to do, I think I'll do 3 singles because you want a bit of space between them. I mean, you can do, well, you wouldn't do one straight after another, but you wouldn't need to put at least 1 stitch between them. So let's do the next one here. So I'm going to do another 5 double crochets here. Okay, taking that out again, finding the first one. I'm actually going to go off this way around, sorry. So I'm going this way around, pulling it through and looping over, which gives me it on the right side. And then another 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to create another one. So again, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go through and chain, and then I'm just going to go to the end. 1, now so that's my first row, and I've got 3 popcorn stitches, so you can see they are quite pronounced. Yeah, now I'm going to chain 1, and I am going to single crochet all the way along. So we want a bit of separation between them. Okay, and then I'm making sure that I go into that chain 1 and make my stitch there. I've got 3 between, 1, 2. Can't believe how much this is dropping. 3, and again in the chain section. 1, 2, 3 in the chain section, and then I had 2 there. Now on the way back I'm going to do another row, and this time I'm going to do my popcorn stitch in the middle. So I'm going to come across, when I say the middle, I'm talking about the middle of the space between them, so there'll only be 2 this time. So I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do it in the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, move it out. I'm going to go from behind to the front, pull through and chain, and then I'm going in, and I'm going to go again between these 2. Oh, might just be a bit too far over. Anyway, regardless, you get the idea. I'm doing the next one. So, oh, sorry. Again, into the front, first one, and pick up the loop. Pull that, chain 1, and then again I'm going to go all the way along. Okay, so there we go, I've got 2 rows now with 2 on this one and 3 on this one. So I'm not sure how well you can see that. Now, what I would say about the popcorn stitch is there's, you would use it, so you would use it, for example, if you're doing a sample blanket, and you might do a row of them, or you might even do 2 or 3 rows of them, but they're not as exacting as something like, say, the grit stitch or the alpine stitch, in which you've got a very precise way of doing it. With the popcorn stitch, it's the actual stitch itself. Now, how you then put that together is entirely up to you. So you can see if you use this If this was here, this one was moved closer, you've got the beginnings of a heart, for example. Oh, let's see. You've got the beginnings of a heart, for example. So you can make lots of different shapes with it. I could see this being used for names. You'll see a lot of those. You can change colours if you wish to make the popcorn stick out, but I think the actual texture of it is generally enough. Not necessarily as easy to see on the video, but definitely in real life it's much easier.